much better than you. You are extravagant. It disgusts me to see you decked out like a princess. You know, the woman who only wishes to please her husband has no need for all these pearls.
Now, really, Mother.
I've spoken to you rather frankly, but that's my way. I do not mince my words when I have something righteous to say.
Neither does your dear Tartuffe. The man is an angel, Luca.
Tartuffe is a very worthy man who ought to be listened to. I will not hear him laughed or sneered at by a person like you.
Do you expect me to submit to the tyranny of that man?
Watch what you say.
But that dear Tartuffe of yours rails on everything. There's nothing we can do that's not considered a sin. Too much perfume. Oh, and there are far too many ribbons in your hair. You always have tears in your eyes when you recite the Lord's Prayer. If we were to truly believe all that rubbish, we would all become nuts. He controls everything.
Whatever he controls deserves to be controlled. He only wishes to lead you on the path to heaven. You should love him as my son would.
Ah, no, grandmother. I can never take such a scoundrel. Not even for my dear old father's sake.
Surely it's a downright scandal to see a stranger exercise so much authority in this household. To see a beggar who, when he came, had absolutely nothing, now assumes the authority of the master?
Mark my words. Things would go much better if you obeyed his pious directions.
You see him as a saint? But trust me, I see right through him. He's a fraud.
Nonsense.
A hypocrite.
Enough! I'm going. No need to show me the door. I will leave some things unsaid, but trust me, it will take more than good manners for me to visit you again.
What a scene. Did you see how infatuated she is with her dear Tartuffe?
Yes, indeed. She is nothing compared to your father. If he saw him, he would agree. He has gone completely mad. He calls him brother and loves him in his very soul 1,000,000 times more than me or you.
In short, he's lost his senses completely. He admires every single little thing that Tartuffe says, and he quotes him constantly.
Tartuffe, of course, is extremely pleased to find such an easy victim in your father. He has about 1,000,000 ways to trick and beguile him into giving him money. And now, with your father's permission, he has established in his house a sort of inquisition.
And he would preach to us in a loud voice, and then throw away our rouge, our ribbons, and our perfumes.
I mean, just the other day, he tore off one of Joy's handkerchiefs because he found it tucked in between the leaves of the Life of the Saints. He said, "Oh, it is such a sin to juxtapose the devil's instruments with holy sacraments."
Miss the master's back. Say no more.
I think we'll go lie down.
Go ahead, mother. I'll be here to greet him. Ah, Domini, my son, how have you been? Very well, father. How was the country? Very refreshing. Yes, it was quite pleasant. Excuse me a moment, son. Doreen, I'd like to learn the household news first so I could finally put my mind at rest. So, how's everybody? What's been going on?
Well, 2 days ago, your wife fell very ill with a terrible fever accompanied by an extraordinary headache.
And, Tartuffe?
Tartuffe? Why, he is certainly well fed. He eats as though every meal were his last.
Oh, that poor chap.
That night at the dinner table, your wife's headache was so bad, she couldn't eat a single thing.
And, Tartuffe?
Tartuffe's appetite, sir, was in no way affected. He devoured 3 grilled beef tenderloins and 1 lamb. 4 grilled beef tenderloins and 1 lamb chop barbecue.
Oh, that poor chap.
That night, your wife's fever was so bad, we were obliged to stay up with her all night. She couldn't close her eyes for a moment.
Mm-hmm. And, Tartuffe?
Sir, Tartuffe slept pleasantly. He ran off to his chamber after dinner, perfectly overcome with sleep, jumped into his comfy little bed, and then snored away in perfect peace until morning.
Oh, that poor old chap.
The next morning, my mistress finally allowed us to call Dr. Wellington, who treated her for the better part of the afternoon, and now she's feeling much better.
And Tartuffe? right in your face. Although I do not wish to offend you, Father, but I must say she has some excuse. Excuse? What excuse could that possibly be? I've scarcely been back 2 days, and I'm already fed up with that pompous swine. Pompous swine? Who are you talking about, son? God, that Tartuffe. Can it be that a man can so charm you as to make you forget about everything else? As if it wasn't enough to take him in and relieve him of his poverty, but you also had to... Son! Stop right there. I shall not have you speak to me this way. You don't need to know the man you are speaking of. Tartuffe is so pure, so pious, so full of goodness. He's the sort of man, well, a truly excellent man. He's transformed my soul, you see, weaned my heart from every pressure, teaches me to have no love for anything in this world. I could see you, my wife, my mother, my whole family die before my very eyes and not have a care in the world. That's the most humane sentiment. Ah, but if only you had seen him as I first saw him, you would have loved him just as much as I. He came into our church. He kneeled down next to me, and he prayed with so much sincerity. He sighed, he cried, he kissed the ground, and he raised his hands up high. Everyone in the congregation seemed impressed, and at length, having compelled me to take him into my house, and since then everything here has seemed to prosper. I perceive that he improves everything, yes, and that he takes a great interest in my wife, for my sake, of course. Also, he warns me of the people who look at her too lovingly. And he is 6 times more jealous than I am. And you cannot believe how far his zeal goes. The slightest trifle in himself, he calls a sin. So much so that the other day, he accused himself. He accused himself of having caught a flea whilst at his devotions, and of having killed it, rather too wrathfully. Are you out of your mind? Good Lord knows that. Do not use the name of our Lord and Savior in vain. Truth disapprove. I see too much, yes, too much free thinking has corrupted your moral character. I shall take my leave now, before anger takes over me. Wait, Father. Please. Can we forget about all this unpleasantry? Yes, very well. Remember how you said you'd help me get into the bond business? Yes. You promised to fund me for a whole year. Yes. But in the last letter that you wrote to me, you said you were planning to delay my funding. Right. Are you chance you change your mind? No, I never said that. Then why the delay? I'm just not that sure. Is it about the money? No, of course not. Is the business in trouble? Son, the business is fine. Then I don't understand what the hell the problem is. Son, is this really what you want to do with your life? I thought we both agreed upon this. What I'm trying to say is that you're a talented young man, and as Tartuffe would say, you ought to use that talent for good. This whole bond business, you see, is just too worldly, too unchristian, too corrupt. But it was your idea. Yes, it was my idea. I'm not trying to deny that. But that was before I met Tartuffe. See? He made me realize that it is not a suitable profession for an impressionable young man such as you, my son. I have to say, I agree with him most heartily. Father, you can't be serious. But it is not a proper profession for the pure and the pious. Now, we're speaking of professions. Have you ever considered a profession in the church, perhaps? As a minister? What do you say, son? 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 Oh, you must be having an epiphany! How glorious! Heaven be praised! I shall go and tell Tartuffe. He will be most pleased.